Elizabeth Salgado was originally from Mexico. After carrying out a Mormon mission over there in March of 2015, she moved to Provo, Utah. The 26-year-old had many hopes and dreams for the future. She wanted to learn to speak English, as well as carve out better opportunities for her own future. Her dream was to build a better life, and this religious Mormon city, known for its peaceful, relaxed way of life, was the perfect place for her to do that. Once in the US, Elizabeth attended the Nomen Global Language School, where she would start to learn the English language. At this point, because she didn't speak fluent English, she didn't have a lot of friends, but she appeared happy. She moved in with some roommates in the Branbury apartment complex, which was not too far from the school she was studying at. She had also got a little bit of work at a local restaurant. Despite the challenges of moving to a new country, Elizabeth was excited and optimistic about what the future held for her. Unfortunately, she would disappear just 1 month later. Despite moving to the US, Elizabeth was close to her family back in Mexico and kept in regular contact with them. On April the 16th, 2015, Salgado left the Global Language School to head back to her apartment complex, which was roughly 18 blocks away. On the walk back home, she texted both her sister and her uncle. Both texted her back, but neither got a response from Elizabeth. This was strange in itself, but when Salgado failed to return to the apartment complex and also failed to turn up to work, her mother, who could not get in touch with her, reported her missing to local law enforcement. Police immediately launched an investigation, working with Elizabeth's family as well as the tight-knit community of Provo. There was a large search of the area that Salgado would have undertaken from the school to get back home. Detectives were investigating not only within the borders of Utah, but also in her hometown in Mexico. Flyers about Elizabeth's disappearance were posted in many of the businesses in the local area, and a large billboard was erected that was visible from the freeway. Despite the best efforts of everyone involved, it all led nowhere. There has been no activity on her cell phone, bank accounts, email or social media. Then, 3 weeks after her disappearance, human remains were found, which led everyone involved in her case to fear the worst. To her family's relief, the dental records showed that the skeletal remains were not hers. With few leads, the case would go cold. Elizabeth's family did what it could to keep the case in the media. Believing Elizabeth had possibly been kidnapped and held against her will, they conducted numerous interviews with the media, as well as creating videos in several languages to plead for her release. The family marked the anniversary of her disappearance by conducting a march, going from the language center to her apartment block, and a $50,000 reward was put together from various sources for any information that would bring the safe return of their loved one. Unfortunately, this would not be the case. Years had passed without any news, but that would change in May of 2018. A man pulled over on the road of Hobble Creek Canyon to relieve himself in the bushes. There he came across human remains. On May the 23rd of 2018, Provo investigators confirmed that the skeletal remains found in Hobble Creek Canyon are that of Elizabeth Salgado. With her body now recovered, police were now on the hunt for a killer. Officers believe she was given a ride to the location where her remains were found, as Elizabeth didn't have a vehicle, so it is unlikely she travelled to that location, which is approximately 15 miles away from where she was last seen. Unfortunately, because the remains have been lying in the wilderness for 3 years, a cause of death could not be determined, but her case is being investigated as a homicide. Maybe coincidentally, but it is rumoured Elizabeth had attended a church event just 4 days before her death, near the same canyon where her remains were found. In a public statement, the police promised to work with the FBI to find the perpetrator and do everything they can to bring him to justice. They asked people to come forward if they knew anything about the case. In July of 2019, a coin was found in the exact spot where Elizabeth's remains had been found. It's unclear when the coin was left there, but due to the location and the fact her body remained there for those years, it could possibly be an important piece of evidence. At the very least, it was suspicious. The coin was sent off for DNA testing. Forensic investigators were able to find a full DNA profile on the coin. It was that of an unknown male. An attempt was made to find a match by various means, but so far it has been unsuccessful. For those involved in the case, there are many unanswered questions, and many believe the person responsible was someone she knew. This would also give credence to the fact she disappeared from the middle of Provo at about 2:30 in the afternoon, and there was no witnesses to any kind of struggle or disturbance. In another blow to the family, in August of 2021, Elizabeth's aunt Miriam Salgado disappeared. Her car was found abandoned a day after her family reported her missing. A year and a half later, in March of 2023, her remains were found, half a mile from where her vehicle had previously been located. Little information has been released in regards to her case. It appears after this there has been no further developments, and as of 2025, Elizabeth Salgado's murder remains unsolved.